Welcome to another Chamber Low Carbon live lunch and learn. My name's Stephen Sykes. I'm the Chamber Low Carbon Program Manager, and I'm your host for this afternoon's session. A few housekeeping rules before we start. The event is in webinar format, so all attendees are on mute and off camera. The session is being recorded, so you'll be able to watch it again later on our YouTube channel. At the bottom of the screen, you will notice that there is a chat function. Please use that to introduce yourself to the room and to others who are here. And if you've got any questions for the panelists, please use the Q&A function. Chamber Low Carbon is brought to you by North and West Lancs Chamber of Commerce, East Lancs Chamber of Commerce, Business-Wise Solutions and Boost, and is part funded by the European Union European Regional Development Fund. We offer advisory services such as on-site energy and environmental audits. We do best practice events, and we have a newsletter. We also do some advanced business support in the form of the Green Rose program. So if you're looking to implement an environmental management system to actually manage your greenhouse gas emissions, we can help you with that as well. And if you're based in Lancashire, that's free of charge. Next slide, please. We also have support for businesses who are developing new low carbon technologies. So we have specialist consultants who can actually look at the feasibility of your idea. They can actually then look at how you can scale that up for manufacturing and actually get it made in Lancashire. Next slide, please. Today's topic is smart meters and how they can help businesses on their journey to net zero. Today I'm joined by Liz Harper of Smart Energy GB, and she has a couple of guests up her sleeve as well. So without any further ado, I'll hand over to Liz.
Well, thank you, and good afternoon to everybody. It's great to be here, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to you all this morning. My name is Liz Harper, and I'm the Policy and Public Affairs Manager at Smart Energy GB, the national consumer campaign for the rollout of smart meters. And today I'm going to talk a bit about the journey to a smarter energy system and the importance that it plays in reducing our carbon emissions and achieving our net zero targets. And later on, I'll be joined by Josh and Jamie, who are co-founders of the Syrup Room, who will talk a bit about their experience of upgrading to a smart meter for their business. So as I mentioned, Smart Energy GB is a national consumer engagement campaign for the rollout of smart meters. We are a national campaign because we want everybody in England, Wales and Scotland to get a smart meter. I heard a statistic the other day that the average person spends only 11 minutes a year thinking about their energy, which in part explains why we have such a big task to do. We don't install or manufacture smart meters. Your energy supplier will install them for you. But what we do is share information to help people understand the benefits of smart meters and how to use them. We were set up in 2013, and much of our work since then has been focused on the domestic market, but last year we extended our campaign to work with small businesses. We have three key roles which are outlined on this slide. So building awareness and demand for smart meters, encouraging people to use their smart meters to change their behaviour, and assisting consumers who may be in vulnerable circumstances to ensure that no one is left behind and everybody is able to access the benefits of smart meters. We carry out these tasks primarily through our mass marketing and communications activity, as well as working in partnership with trusted organisations to make sure that everybody is sort of aware of the benefits of smart meters for both individuals and businesses, as well as our energy system and the climate. So why do we need a smart energy revolution? Well, one thing that's really clear right now is that we all need to take action if we're going to get anywhere near hitting our target of net zero carbon emissions by 2050. And in the latest annual report, the Committee on Climate Change said that it would not be possible to reach net zero without people being involved. And over half of the emissions reductions they've identified actively involve people in some way, whether that's by choosing to purchase low carbon technologies like electric vehicles, or by making different choices when it comes to travel and diet, as well as how and when we use energy. The smart meter rollout and the flexible energy system that it contributes to is an important tool in our journey to net zero. And research by Delta E found that without smart meters, meeting our net zero targets would be harder, more expensive, and slower. But with smart meters, everyone in Great Britain can take part in building an energy system that we need for our future. They're the cornerstone of a smarter digital energy system that will enable better integration of renewables and locally generated energy sources. And as battery and storage technology develops, we'll be able to capture renewable energy when the wind and sun are abundant to then store and use when we need to, ensuring that we're making the most of the renewable sources and supporting our transition towards net zero. So what are smart meters and how do they work? Well, put very simply, smart meters are just digital versions of our traditional gas and electricity meters. They accurately measure how much energy you're using in almost real time and send that meter reading direct to your energy supplier at agreed intervals via the secure national network. The network has been developed specifically for smart meters and is run by the data communications company. The energy data that is sent to your supplier ensures that you have accurate bills, putting an end to estimated bills, as well as the need to send in meter readings. And in addition, smart meters give you access to your data on your energy use and make it visible in a way that we've not had before. Once you're aware and understand how much energy you're using and when, you can then make decisions and changes to become more energy efficient and potentially save money on your energy bills. Smart meters also provide the networks with the near real-time data that they need to balance out peaks in energy demand, and networks will also be able to predict periods of high demand and store excess energy to fall back on during these times. The rollout of smart meters is a major national infrastructure project, and whilst it has not been without its challenges, I'm pleased to say it is making real progress. And at the end of March, over 24 million smart meters had been installed across Great Britain. Every energy supplier is obligated to offer smart meters to their domestic and eligible non-domestic customers by the end of the rollout. And in terms of the non-domestic rollout, at the end of March, 42% of non-domestic premises had smart or advanced meters already. But we know that awareness levels amongst the non-domestic sector are much lower. So whereas 97% of domestic customers are aware that smart meters are available for their homes, it's closer to around 60% for non-domestic customers, which is why our campaign is important. And it's great to attend events like this to help raise awareness. Although awareness is lower, there is a really positive story that for those that already have them, they're positive about their experience, and 7 in 10 would recommend them to others. So what are the benefits of smart meters for small businesses, and why should you talk to your energy supplier about upgrading to one? Well, there are 4 key benefits. So firstly, control. As I've mentioned, thanks to the near real-time data that they provide, you can take control of your business's energy use by becoming more aware of how much energy you're using and how much it's costing. Once you're aware, you can then take small steps to become more energy efficient and save money. And some recent research that we did showed that 76% of small businesses with a smart meter say they are more conscious of their business's energy use, and which has led to an average estimated monthly bill saving of £32.80 or £394 a year. The next benefit is accuracy. Smart meters accurately measure how much energy you're using, and they send the meter reading direct to your supplier, putting an end to estimated bills and meaning that you pay for the energy that your business is using rather than an estimate. And businesses that we've worked with have commented that given the uncertainty they faced over the past 18 months, it's reassuring to know how much their energy bills are going to be, and they feel better able to budget for them. The next benefit is sustainability. So smart meters are the foundation of a smarter and more flexible energy system, which uses digital technology and data to improve its efficiency. And as well as being more efficient, it will also be better able to manage supply and demand and better at integrating intermittent renewables into the energy system, allowing us to take advantage of cheap green energy. And finally, innovation. By upgrading existing analog meters to digital smart meters, we're also building a platform for innovation, meaning that businesses will soon be able to take advantage of new products and services, which could provide them with tailored energy information or advice on how to optimize and become more energy efficient. Our research found that 40% of consumers are more likely to visit businesses that care about being sustainable. So we conducted some further research to find out what small businesses thought about smart meters, sustainability, and innovation. And from this research, we know that 6 in 10 business owners say that sustainability is important to their business, and 63% believe that there are long-term benefits from investing in energy efficiency measures. In addition, 8 in 10 small businesses have taken an energy efficiency action in the past year. The majority of these actions are quite simple and accessible things, such as switching out light bulbs to more energy efficient ones, or turning off appliances when they're not in use. The research also highlighted that businesses would like to do more in this area, but it's seen as time consuming or complex, and they're just not sure where to start. And getting a smart meter really is a simple first step a business can take in order to take control of their energy use and become more sustainable. We worked with an eco hair salon in Cardiff who got a smart meter because whilst they were very sustainable in certain aspects of their business, they struggled to keep track of their energy use and struggled with budgeting for it. So once they got a smart meter, they found it easy to identify which appliances were using the most energy and at what times, and then they were able to take actions to reduce their energy use. And as well as helping to make the business more sustainable, reducing their energy use has also helped them to save money as they're no longer paying for appliances which aren't in use. It sounds really simple, but I think once you kind of see, once you've got that sort of visibility and you see how much you're using, it just makes it a lot easier to make those changes. And in addition to the insights into sustainability, our research also showed that 70% of businesses would like to use tools to help them save energy. So for example, 76% would like to use auto switching sites for their business's energy supply, and 72% would like services which could help identify energy inefficient appliances. As the rollout is still underway, there's sort of been limited innovation in this area to date, but smart meters and the data they provide are enabling innovators to design new products and services specifically for the business market. And to support innovation in this area, the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy have run a couple of innovation competitions designed to help small businesses turn their energy data into tailored energy management actions or supporting SMEs to become more energy efficient. There are some really interesting new products and services coming out of these programs, which is really encouraging to see, as they will support businesses to not only take control of their energy use and become more energy efficient, but will also support our transition to net zero. Now, I'd like to introduce Josh and Jamie, who are co-founders of the Syrup Room, a small business who recently got a smart meter installed. So Josh and Jamie, are you there?
Hey guys.
Hello.
Can you see us?
Yes, we can see you. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. So just to start, can you tell us a bit about your business and why sort of creating a sustainable business is important to you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, me and Jay graduated from the Arts University Bournemouth in 2014. We're from London, and we studied down here. Whilst we were studying, we used to go to a scrapyard and buy salvaged, buy a piece of metal that were being recycled. We'd polish them, like old lights, lamps, and bits and pieces like that.
All kinds of like interior salvage pieces and things for bars, restaurants, and stuff like that.
And then we'd sell them to the antiques trade, and started falling into this area of recycling and reusing in interiors. And we got kind of picked up by a few clients who wanted to have that in their bars and restaurants, and we continued from there. So we started out recycling. And we've kind of carried that on through to the point now where we use sustainable materials in our big builds. We recycle everything. It's all done with a very sustainable manufacturing process. So, yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, that is really cool. And it's great to see how you sort of grew from just sort of doing the recycling thing and have turned that into a business. So you guys have got a smart meter. So starting at the beginning, kind of what made you sort of want to get a smart meter, and kind of how did you find like the booking process and things?
I did all of the booking stuff, so I can tell you exactly how that went for us. It was great. Basically, the main reason behind us getting the smart meter was during the lockdown, everything paused for us, and me and Jay were lucky enough to be able to still come to our office because it was just us two at the time. When everything stopped, we had time to look at bills and out.
And I mean, just before we'd sort of invested loads into our business, and just before the lockdown and everything, because business was going quite well, we bought a lot of machinery, which is quite energy heavy. We invested in electric cars. So we started to accumulate a lot of things that use a lot of electricity.
And we just decided, we need to see where our outgoings are going. There's bills that are estimated. It never kind of seemed to work for us. So I got on the phone, got a smart meter appointment. It was just, but when they started to install it, they put in all the PPE and all that kind of all those areas to keep us safe and keep the technicians safe. So they came in, installed it, which was great. It took, I think our power was down for 30 minutes. They installed that, turned it on, put it in, and it was that simple. I mean, there's so many things that feel scary when you're getting like your meter change. You think, oh, are we going to be able to run the company today? Are we going to have to move meetings? But it was super simple, super easy. And so the installation was great. And it allowed us to get working back in time and also be able to monitor stuff pretty quick, which is cool.
And kind of what difference has a smart meter made to your business? Did you sort of look at the data sort of straight away, or kind of was it something you sort of gradually did over time? Kind of what's the biggest difference it's made to your business?
We basically looked at it after you get obsessed with looking at it very quickly because you're like, oh, we'll see what we've been using today and stuff. But we soon kind of got to the point where we were like, right, let's let it run and see our bills. And I mean, the thing is as well, what we're paying for is way better because we're paying for what we use. And for a small business, that is really essential at this time because there's so many bills and direct debits that do just go out, and you kind of miss them when you look at the bills. But then when you can see your costs and your totals, then you do think, right, we turn that light off. Does that need to be running overnight? Do we need to do that?
Do we not use that machine, and is it worth us actually buying a new one that's more cost effective to run than keeping an old machine going? Things like that. It just lets us plan for the future, really, which is good.
So in terms of the future, kind of what next? Now you've got the smart meter and you kind of know how much energy you're using, what it's costing, kind of what is the next step for your business on that sort of sustainability journey?
As Jay mentioned before, we have 2 electric cars. So the future in a dream world would be that we'd be able to have a unit where we can build a sustainable full circle kind of workshop, so that we can have solar panels and then store the energy in like kind of power banks, and then use that energy when we need it, and also use the energy when it's cheapest. So storing energy and kind of just monitoring that and seeing if we can make something that just is, the outgoings will be a lot cheaper. And so that's kind of the future. We don't know how far that is.
I mean, I suppose we didn't really explain fully what we do now. I mean, we went from interiors to both being the designers to now we design and build installations for artists and sort of art installations for brands all across the UK and sometimes abroad. And we use vans, we use all kinds of different things for transportation. I mean, we would love to have all of our vehicles to be electric at some stage when the technology gets better on them. And just to be able to, I mean, to then turn our current workshop into something that is creating its own electricity with, solar panels and stuff like that. That's the idea, isn't it? To be able to run more sustainably. I mean, sustainability is kind of the ethos of our brand, because in this day and age, when you're designing and building things, if you're doing it in a way that isn't sustainable, it's not really an option anymore. So we're going to just continue growing and grow that from the power usage we use to the products we supply and everything, really.
We also realised how much our air conditioning heating system cost us.
Yeah.
So that got turned off pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. I dread to think how much something like that costs to run.
For sure. Especially we've got a large unit, so heating it is always a question, especially in the winter. We need to work out kind of systems and processes around that. So it has helped us just look into that kind of area, which is great.
And I mean, talking about sustainability, as I mentioned in my presentation, kind of a lot of businesses want to do more to become more efficient and sustainable, but they aren't quite sure sort of where to start. And I think it can be a bit daunting. So kind of, do you have any sort of top tips, or kind of where did you start when you were thinking about sort of that sustainability journey?
We started with the number one thing that for business is always key, and that was where our money was going. That then showed us where we were wasting money, and money and sustainability are funny things tied together. But if you look at the sense of, right, we're spending loads of money on electricity, they're estimating the bills, they're having to dump a lot of electricity. If we can help the grid and the companies understand how much energy needs to be produced for these companies, that is a sustainable aspect of it, but also helps beneficial. It helps us save money, which is great. So sustainability and money can be tied in that sense.
Yeah.
But then also going to the point where we use we manufacture. So we manufacture and we custom make a lot of things for clients. We will keep offcuts. We will keep all the bits that we can reuse. I mean, we kind of border on the edge of hoarder. So it's like, we kind of keep everything, and sometimes we have to have a big clear out. But just starting where you can in your company is a great thing, because no one knows how to install a solar panel themselves. But if you can save money and you can save time in your workings and save materials, that time then can be spent on looking into sustainable ways of making your company better. It is daunting because everyone's eyes are on sustainability at the moment, but just tiny little things really help.
I mean, the easiest way to start is start with the ways that it, doesn't impact your wallet really, but you can just change things that you do, like getting a smart meter installed, and then you're gonna instantly start seeing the benefits from it. So that's the easiest way to start,
for sure. And sustainability is a broad spectrum, and everyone could do their bit. So it just starts with doing those little things, and it'll come around.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds great, and thank you so much for joining me today. I think we could talk for ages about this, but I think people may have some questions. I think one thing I would say is, obviously, if you're interested in getting a smart meter, the thing to do is to contact your energy supplier, and they'll be able to sort of talk you through kind of their terms and conditions and the booking process and everything like that. But thank you for joining me today.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. I'm just going to throw it open to the floor now to see if we've got any questions. But I must admit, your presentation and the Q&A session were quite an holistic and complete package to actually get that presentation with the Q&As of the real life experience. I thought was an excellent way to get the message across, because I'm looking at the Q&A and there's nothing really happening. So I'm guessing that you actually did answer a lot of people's questions about how to start and what your benefits have been. Is there anything else that Liz didn't cover in her questions that you've found has been additional benefits, Josh or Jamie?
I mean, Liz covered many of the aspects that have been great about it. But I think just building the future technologies, I love gadgets, so gadgets are great for me, and also being able to be in tune with them and kind of working it's quite exciting to see what can be done with the smart energy revolution, because they're showing you what you're being charged for. Before it was kind of, okay, this energy, you don't see it, it comes in and you get a bill.
Yeah.
You know, so there was no like physical, like visual, all right, I've used this much, you know. So that is exciting in the sense of maybe that will then go on to all the other utilities, so that you can actually see what you're using, and see what you're spending on, because bills always creep up on you, you know. They, as much as you try and squeeze them down, they're always going to creep up on you. So at least you can prepare, and also forecast, which I think there's a lot to be said for the integration with that, and also accounting. So like, for instance, in the future, tying those technologies in with your accounting software, so that smart meter is putting your invoice into the software, and things like that. And integration is, I think, a really cool thing for small businesses as well, because the time spent on those things is huge. Admin, I mean, if I turn the camera on and you saw what our table's like at the moment, admin is a massive part of it. And it's just digitizing that aspect and showing you that this is what you're using, this is what you'll be expecting to pay, and this is how it is going forward. And that's exciting. That's very cool.
Brilliant. As we've not had any questions, and we've actually had quite a lively session just from the three panelists, has been excellent. So I'd like to thank all of you, Josh, Jamie, and Liz, for your time and your insights today. If I could just have the last slide, please, Liz. And for the audience out there, if you'd like to keep in touch on any of the channels, and if you've actually got any questions that you'd like to ask Josh or Jamie or Liz, drop us an email and we can forward them on and keep the dialogue going. So thank you for today, and hopefully the revolution will continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Thank you.